Okay. To answer the question, both Fine Chips and Octopart are chip search vendors. And then there's a list, the distributors you saw there are some of the bigger distributors. So Arrow's a big distributor, Future's a big distributor, DigiKey's a huge distributor, Mouser, did I say Avnet Express? These are big distributors. Newark is a part of Element 14. Okay. I probably missed a few big ones there, and I apologize for missing them, but am I on? I'm probably not.
You're a little, yeah,
Okay.
that's good, and then you're so a little low, but
Yeah, that's okay. I don't care.
okay, that's
So that's how you know that's the finding the chips is a big part of doing your design things. You may have this great idea, you find a great chip that you want to work with, and you don't get too far into laying out your board and then discovering like, oops, I can't get that chip. I will mention that a friend of mine recently was laying out a board, and sure enough, he sends the board in, and then he discovers that he can't find the part. He had to quickly tell them not to make the board, and he had to quickly fix up the board to use a part that he could get.
So you should probably get the chips before you send it off to the artwork.
No, that's not necessary. Okay, but do look at the stock number ones. If they've only got 8 of them, yeah, buy the chips. But you probably want to design the board using a different chip. Okay, and H-bridge chips are just brutal out there. Very hard to find an H-bridge chip that stays in stock all the time. It's one of the reasons why I tend to use these big, ugly bipolar ones, because the people don't use them anymore. Okay.
The final stage of an H-bridge, not the driver.
The
Switching layer.
the switching layer.
Yeah.
They're called half bridges.
Oh, so you are talking about.
I'm talking about the
driver.
thing that actually drives it. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you normally get them with embedded output stage in them, or do you have
Embedded. Usually it's quote TTL in, and then it just drives it high and low. You give it the right voltage. So, but that's kind of a driver kind of issue. So, so I'm going to go research to see whether or not those are thousandths of an inch or hundredths of an inch.
I'll know in a few minutes.
Okay, so
As soon as I get on the web here.
you got me wondering too. I know in the metric parts, I think they use hundredths of a millimeter is the unit that they tend to use. So 0.01 millimeters is the unit. So, and the quad flat pack parts, those are the ones I use are 0.5 millimeter pitch. So in the space of 1 millimeter, you've got three pins spanning those things. So because there's fence post issue. So yeah, the parts are small, and that's part of what we're dealing with here in the class is that the parts are small. So that means the boards are smaller, and it also means you can buy very interesting chips because they don't sell them in big, huge dip packages anymore. Now, sometimes I've told people if you can do the whole project in dip technology, skip the whole surface mount thing and just go with through holes. Because frequently you're not building a million of them; you're only building a few of them, and you want to simplify your assembly time too. So you have to worry about those trade-offs. More questions? Okay. While I'm still on camera here, how many people were able to download KiCad? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm still working on it.
Still working on it, and didn't even try. Okay. So the next part of everything is to sort of get people up with schematic design in KiCad. So we want to get KiCad downloaded. How many of you were able to successfully bring it up so that it brought up a display? 1, 2. part of it, okay. So, okay, I'm gonna switch over to lecture mode in the next session, but I wanted to sort of get a feel for where people were. This is kind of like the big hump of, we gotta get people up on KiCad, on something so that they can design their boards, because nobody does it by hand. I should mention, the way we used to do it was we would take sheets of Mylar and tape, and we would put tape down on the Mylar, and then we would go off to a place that did blueprints, and they had photo reduction machines, and they would photo reduce the thing, and then,
That's really cool.
and then because we were cheap, and sending boards out was really expensive, most of us had jugs of ferric chloride, and we would attempt to etch our own boards.
And get some crappy boards.
And you would get crummy boards, and then you'd have to drill them. But it was like what we could do at the time. So we don't do that anymore. We just ship them off to one of these relatively quick turn places. Okay, with that, I'm going to shut down, and we'll go to the next phase.